We got our next featured speaker, which is Lisa Marcus, CEO of Cheech's Private Stash. Lisa. Is Lisa with us? Yes.
I'm here. Hi, everybody. Hi. Nice to see you all. Very interesting to hear from people all around the world with all these exciting projects, and we really are becoming a global community in the cannabis business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I was invited here to speak, and what is it that you want me to speak about? Our brand?
You know, for anybody who isn't aware of Cheech's Private Stash, can you kind of just give some folks,
Sure.
since there's
Absolutely.
so many people from all over the world that may not have already known about it, they've been hiding under a rock.
Okay, well, for those of you who don't know Cheech Marin, he is the funny guy of the Cheech and Chong comedy duo. Hold on, I'm just going to change my screen here. And Cheech and Chong, they're the original, if you will, bad boys of cannabis. They made that very famous movie Up in Smoke in the 60s and became synonymous with cannabis. And they were always the underground, if you will. But, you know, their devotion to cannabis was not just to be funny and be the underground. They truly believe, truly believe in cannabis as a very, very special healing planet. So Cheech, I met Cheech about 4 years ago, and we developed a mezcal brand for him called Tres Papalote Mezcal. Mezcal is a agave plant that grows in Mexico. So we put together this very fun Tres Papalote Mezcal, which Cheech named the Party Mezcal. And we got to know each other. And a couple of years later, Cheech decided that he wanted to launch a cannabis brand because he loves cannabis and really wanted to share his vision of cannabis with the world. And he wanted good product at great value. Our tagline with the brand is, "It will always be good." So that's a promise from Cheech and our company that whatever you get from the Cheech's Stash brand, whether it's cannabis, whether it's CBD, and some other great new projects we're working on, it will always be good. So that's our story. We launched the line a couple of years ago, and we're in several states in the country. Right now it's California, Washington State, Oregon, and Colorado, and we are in negotiations in several different states. It's a hush-hush right now until it's all publicized. And we're excited to expand our brand and the story of cannabis through the eyes of Cheech to everybody in the country, and then eventually out into the world. And we're particularly excited because we're launching a CBD brand next month with some really, really great products.
There are so many different products. How do you guys decide, and what have you decided on? Like, what goes into that criteria of getting to the optimal number of SKUs? What products do you have, and how do you make that decision?
We make the decision based on what makes sense and what makes sense for Cheech. We want everything really connected, so we're not grasping at straws. If it's not a category that really works for the Cheech persona or that Cheech can get behind, we don't choose it. So for example, in the CBD line, which is really, really fantastic, is that we're working with a group out of Washington State, and the recipes come from a Chicano family. And as you all know, Cheech is Chicano. So this family was a business, I guess you would call it. It wasn't even really a business in those days. 100 years ago, the great-grandmother started to collect different recipes for healing, what would you call, from healing plants, and put them together. And imagine 100 years ago, everybody went to like the medicine woman. So somehow through our travels, we met up with somebody who works with this family. Now the grandmother is gone, but we're working with the family. So I love the connection of the Chicano medicine woman, and we now bring it into current days, and we'll work with them, and we'll have tinctures, and we'll have some creams, whether they're muscle creams and lavender creams that are for healing skin. So that's how we pick our products. What makes sense for our brand? And everything has to go to Cheech for Cheech approval.
Well, some of us investors have an opportunity to maybe license a marijuana lounge or a cannabis club, either internationally or domestically. If I'd like to have an opportunity to drink his tequila and smoke his joint at the same time, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But what would
Mezcal,
be
not tequila, mezcal. Most people
mezcal?
say
Thank you.
tequila.
What
Well,
would be
yes,
opportunities?
there will be opportunities, absolutely. Right now, we have a friend that has a dispensary out in the Palm Desert, and they have a lounge. So we've been talking to them, but there's always opportunities, absolutely. And if you want to get on our site, it's Cheech's Stash or Cheech's Private Stash.com, and there's a little click on to send a little message. It says for investors, but it doesn't have to necessarily be for investors. It could be any questions. We also have just a regular question, but we'd love to talk to people about many different possibilities. And it's already been publicized that there will be Cheech and Chong dispensaries coming within the next year in certain locations.
What about Cheech's art? Is that going to be incorporated into the branding?
Absolutely. We always partner with Cheech's artwork. I would say his endeavor. If you ever see our bottle of mezcal, it's a wonderful little bottle. Google it, Tres Papalote Mezcal, and it has a wonderfully funny little man on it. It's called, we call him, affectionately, we call him Cuckoo Man. And that image comes from Cheech's art collection. So we work very closely with Cheech because he's so committed to his art. And for those of you who don't know, Cheech has 800 pieces that he's gathered in the last 10 years of Chicano artwork. And he really put Chicano art on the map. Nobody before him ever really spoke about Chicano art. So he's gathered artists from all over the country, particularly from South LA, who have contributed wonderful Chicano artwork to his collection. And he's been granted from the state of California a wonderful space in Riverside, California to create a Chicano art museum, which will house his 800 pieces of artwork. And often he takes that artwork to different places around the world to do exhibits, and the rest of it is in storage. So now it will always all live at a home, and people can come and see it and be with it. And I have to tell you what I've seen from some of the pieces. It's so rich with Chicano essence and all of the background and the history of the Chicano movement, if you will. I call it a movement because the Chicano people are very much dedicated to family, to art, to beauty. So yeah, one day we'll get Cheech to talk about it, but we're always excited to support the artwork that Cheech does, that Cheech has gathered.
Is there something about a museum?
Yes. So the Riverside Museum in Riverside, California, which is a regular museum, will now be converted into a Chicano art museum. So Cheech is out there raising money, as well as the state of California has given him a grant to open the museum in, I believe it's going to be 2021, well, maybe the beginning of 2022. So it's coming up soon. Cheech has been working on it for a really long time, and it will be the home of all of Cheech's Chicano artwork and open to the public, of course. And maybe you'll get a little bit of Tres Papalote Mezcal when you come through the door. I'm not sure if we can do it with cannabis yet, but you never know. Things are changing.
They are. That'd be great. All right. I think I might have time for one question. If there's anybody that has anything that they have to ask, Lisa, right now. Otherwise, we will move on. You guys can ask in the chat section or Q&A.
Take a look.
All right.
Any questions?
Does it look like it?
Doesn't look like it. Well, great to be with you all. And from Cheech to everybody here, keep up the good work. Keep cannabis going and moving and growing. And good luck to everybody.